cyber briefing for Tuesday, the 18th of April. Did I get the month wrong yesterday? Might have done. Can't remember. Anyway, 'tis April. I'm Stephen Ridgway. So, not a huge amount of stuff that appears to have kicked off overnight, but a couple of things, a handful of things I'd like to bring to your attention. One is that the Aloha Power point of sale restaurant software has been brought down by a ransomware attack. So the Aloha POS parents company, NCR, says that this was a ransomware attack on one of the data centers. So this is mostly, I think this is fundamentally US based, and as a lot of people listening to this are not in the US, one could just say, well, hard luck for them. Well, I think the reason that I think it is worth bringing to your attention, firstly, it's because it's all over the news, in which case, it clearly is having a significant impact, and those things may have knock-on effects elsewhere. If you've got, if you are in any way connected to or doing business with people in the States, who knows, this might in some way affect you. It also shows that a ransomware attack in one data center can have a very substantial impact across, in this case, across a well-known string of restaurants US-wide. So this is, basically it's demonstrated that if you can take down something, the services on which your business relies, even something as simple as a point of sale solution, that can have an absolutely enormous impact on your ability to trade. So moral of the story, I think, from this one is, be prepared, and be prepared that your providers, so your third parties, are potentially a target, if not directly for you, simply for the general chaos that can be caused through these things, and make sure that you have not only disaster recovery plans, as in the technical bit, how do I stand it all back up again, but the business continuity piece as well. So understand, what would you do, if you are a restaurant and your point of sale systems cease working. What would you do? Do you have fallback plans around how you would deal with that situation, and not just for the first couple of hours whilst things get sorted out? So if it's a ransomware attack, it's going to take days, if not weeks, to get back together again properly. How would you run your business if this sort of stuff happens? And that goes for any third-party systems on which your business relies. So there we are. I think, although not necessarily directly impacting a lot of people who will be listening to this, there is a good moral behind this around making sure that the old-fashioned business continuity stuff is being taken seriously. Okay, next thing I came across goes in the bucket of believe it if you want to, but earlier, was it last week or fairly recently, we've talked about the Israeli spyware vendor Quadream, who are doing similar possibly dodgy things to the NSO group. Well, Quadream is allegedly shutting down operations in the coming days. Which is less than a week, as it says in this article, after its hacking tool set was exposed by Citizen Lab and Microsoft. I can absolutely imagine that Quadream is going to give up a lucrative hacking, semi-legitimate hacking tooling business, just because people now know that they exist. Expect things to morph, not disappear, would be my guess, but there we are. And sometimes the old ones are still the most functional ones. There's a new Qbot banking Trojan campaign aiming to hijack business emails and spread malware. So Qbot has been around for a seriously long time, 2007, if I remember rightly. So it is, as we would say, it's quite mature. It previously been used, or it still is used, for stealing passwords and cookies from web browsers, and it doubles up as a backdoor and can be the dropper for next stage payloads such as Cobalt Strike or bits of ransomware or whatever it is. It has over its years had constant updates. So it has developed good antivirus, good anti-debugging, good anti-sandbox techniques in order to evade detection, and it has emerged as the most prevalent malware for March, according to Checkpoint. So, oh dear. Well, never mind. Well, by now we should all be aware of the indicators of compromise for Qbot. Hopefully they're in your SIEM and you'll get an alert when this stuff's coming through. Bear in mind, it is the object of the exercise is to entice victims into opening malicious links or malicious attachments. Enclosed PDFs that masquerade as Office 365 documents or Azure alerts, and there's in turn those things will then open Windows script files, which basically incorporates PowerShell scripting, downloads malicious DLLs, and they're away. There is a who's it? Yeah. Elastic Security Labs have unearthed a multi-stage social engineering campaign that employs weaponized Microsoft Word documents to distribute these sorts of things. So, keep an eye out for this stuff. It is out there. Hasn't gone away. It's still very effective, quite mature, and certainly one not to write off as it's old. And then finally, from me, at the other end of the scale, experts are warning about a new Python-based credential harvester named Legion. Kado Labs researchers have recently discovered this. It has, at the time that the article, Security Affairs article, was written, it has a detection rate of 0 on VirusTotal, which will have changed now, almost definitely. But equally, things morph very rapidly, so it is not well known or well understood. Apparently, it's about 21,000 lines of code, and it attempts to exfiltrate logins for all sorts of services. But the ones that jumped out at me were AWS console credentials, AWS SNS, S3, and SES specific credentials. Those could well be yes, those would be quite worrying. Mailjet's in there, Twilio, various other bits and pieces. Stripe and PayPal credentials too. There's a list. Read the list. Just check. Make sure, obviously, that if you're using any of these services, you've got MFAs configured, you're using long and complex passwords, and all the other really boring, ordinary, but very important stuff. This particular piece of malware exploits web servers running CMS PHP or PHP-based frameworks such as Laravel. So it relies on misconfigurations on the web server service. So and basically uses regex to extract the credentials. So if you are running PHP-based web servers, definitely worth having a quick check. Make sure that you have got your hardening right. Make sure that you're as good a position as you can be to protect against a somewhat unknown attacks that will undoubtedly ramp up now, especially now that the researchers are aware of this. There must be enough of it out there to kind of hit the radar. So, yeah. So basically, that's all from me today. I hope you have a really good Tuesday, and I will speak to you all again tomorrow morning.